Well, we've just witnessed the new India, the new era of Indian T20I cricket off to a very, very good start. A 2-1 series win against Sri Lanka, and to cap things off, it actually, the final match, to be fair, you were always going to say India were favourites, but series win is a series win, and the way India have sealed it in dominant fashion, a 91-run victory. And to be fair, the Sri Lankans were always under the pump. You're chasing over 200, but the Indian bowlers really showed up today, did an amazing job, and well, here we are, first series win of the Hardik Pandya captaincy era.
Yes. No. What about New Zealand?
No, I'm talking about where he's basically being seen as...
No. You're saying that he's now... Okay, so you're trying to say that because he is now...
The full-time, you can say...
We still don't know.
We still don't officially
There is no announcement yet which says that he is your full-time captain. And if he is a full-time captain now, there is nothing to doubt that he was the full-time captain going into that New Zealand series as well.
Right.
Because you had another disappointing T20 World Cup, and if you were looking at a new start, a fresh start, you would have started from New Zealand. I mean, I think no matter what, the mind was made up by the Indian selectors and the Indian think tank that whatever you do at the T20 World Cup, going forward, you have to groom a new team. You need to have a cycle, as you see in all other sport. So maybe 2 years down the line, a lot of these players are not going to be playing. So let's start on a fresh slate. Of course, India not doing well at the T20 World Cup didn't help. So I think that decision was taken then, right after the T20 World Cup. They were going with a young team. And so, to correct Shane, it is not the first series victory in Hardik Pandya's captaincy, actually third.
Yeah, Ireland and New Zealand.
Ireland, New Zealand, now against Sri Lanka at home.
The first home series win for him, actually, if you think about it. Ireland was away.
If it makes you happy, yes.
Yeah,
he's finally got...
It's a factually correct thing.
First home series. That's because this is the first home series
that he's played under, he's captain.
Under him. So obviously, how else? But you know what, why I say this is an important series win, it is an important, firstly, before we started the programming today, I was very excited, looking forward to this game because it was a series that was evenly fought, one game went down right to the wire, India winning by a very close margin, followed by a game which again became very exciting towards the end, but this time Sri Lanka were victorious, with a bigger margin of 16 runs. And so everything to play for, third game, decider. And so one aspect was that everyone is excited. The other aspect, and I knew that had India not done well, these youngsters had not done well, because they do not have that kind of fan following, because, they're not such established stars, it's very difficult for these guys to get support, not only from people within the system. Within the system, they still might get support and people would be a bit more patient with their performances. I'm saying outside, the surround sound against these players would have been deafening, that listen, what is the point? Why are you getting youngsters? They can't even beat a team like Sri Lanka, which aren't very high up in the T20I ranking. If you, at home, earlier at least with the senior players, we were winning at home. So be it, we were not winning at ICC Trophy. This team can't even win at home. And all of these things would have come into the conversation. And I'm not saying that there was any hidden motive from our side, but I just somehow, whenever there is some youngster that is going forward or youngster being put into test, everyone wants them to succeed because they have a future ahead of them. And so did I, as a well-wisher of Indian cricket. I wanted the youngsters to be given a chance, and I knew that what happens with established players, they also have these set of huge fan clubs and fan following. So as soon as, even if they don't do well, the surround sound, is still such and such is a legend, which is fair, such and such. But you only become legend when you're given chances and you play for some amount of time. Maybe some of these guys will go on to become a legend. So happy with this new look team. I wouldn't say young because a lot of them are seniors. This new look team winning at home, this will give them a lot of confidence. It will give the captain a lot of confidence. And talking about the new template, I think they are playing according to the new template. You got 200 plus. The first match 160 odd, but that wasn't a great pitch to bat on. The next match, again you saw the template. So be it, the start wasn't great because the ball was doing a lot, but later they came on. Plenty to celebrate for Indian cricket, and it's been a good series, good fight by Sri Lankan team, unless this last game
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, this last game, once the first innings was done, they were always up against it. 200 plus runs, even on a road of a track.
But look at India, what they did last time. They were up against it.
True.
But see the fight back.
Absolutely.
So that's why I say, that's the difference. Tough situation, big total, good pitch to bat on. Okay. Sri Lanka lose a few early wickets. What happens to them?
They crumble.
Correct. What happened with the Indian team? Similar situation, in a tough situation, wickets tumbling at the start. What did that Indian team do?
Fought back and counter attack.
Correct. So, which is why, and that's why I put the tweet also the other day out. I know they lost the last game, but I'm liking this team.
Yeah.
This team is showing a lot of heart. They are like, we'll fight. No, but even that game, to have risked and got Akshar to bowl the last over, they are risking it. They fought. Let's say, by the way, low total. No problem, we'll fight. I'm liking the fighting spirit of this team. So, all in all, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's actually a very heartening series win. Normally, for us, bilateral wins, to be fair, over the past few years, India have been giants in bilateral cricket. This one feels different.
Yeah.
It feels like the start of something new.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing this young, when I say young in terms of experience, this team, a lot of whom are replacing established veterans, potentially two legends of the game, and doing it and doing so in such good fashion. Full credit, you've beaten the Asia Cup champions. No mean feat, even if it's at home.
Firstly, let's just sum up the game. I'm going to talk about the bowlers, all-out performance from the bowlers. For all of you who were disappointed, our friend Harshit is still not here with us. He'd be the happiest because he was the one going out. When is Hardik Pandya going to bowl 4 overs? When is Hardik Pandya going to bowl 4 overs? He'd be a happy man. Hardik Pandya has bowled 4 overs.
Yes.
Arshdeep, by the way, again, we're looking at small little plots within the larger script. And the small plots were also of Arshdeep.
Yeah.
He was under the pump after those no balls. Again, must have been, under pressure. The good thing I saw was, when they start marking their run-ups in the middle of the innings, he was marking his run-up. Before the game also, I saw some visuals of his trying to bowl from behind the line.
Yeah.
And I'm only saying, did you really need to have a game like that to change? Maybe not. These are things you could have been fixed in practice, but better late than never. So he's fixed that. Love the fact that Arshdeep came back 3 wickets, I think the most for any Indian bowler today. Hardik Pandya picking up 2. UZCL a bit expensive, but I don't mind him being expensive if he picks wickets. He's picked up wicket in both games now. Harshal also. Umran Malik impressing everyone. Sheer pace. Again, I think he's got 2 wickets.
Yes.
So, all in all, I think the Indian bowling also did very well. Of course, they had the cushion of, their batsmen putting up the runs. But a good outing for Indian bowlers. So spinners, we spoke a lot about, Shane, earlier, that problem with spinners. What are you going to do? Again, smaller little things you have to see. Spinners have come good in 2 games.
Exactly. 6 overs today bowled by the spinners. And you had 3 wickets? 1 of Akshar, who by the way was again phenomenal. Look at that economy rate. Magnus. 6.3. And UZ, as we said, yes, bit on the expensive side, but 2 wickets. You get me 2 wickets, I'm happy with that economy. 2-3 wickets every game, I'm fine with it. Plus with him, I think the major problem was that he wasn't getting you wickets anymore. So, happy with UZ.
Even Dasun Shanaka could not destroy them.
Exactly.
The great Dasun Shanaka.
And to be fair, he's amazing as a player, but today he was just...
You want to tell us a stat about him?
Oh, what was the...
So Dasun Shanaka has gone past Rohit Sharma in terms of most runs in India, Sri Lanka encounters.
That'll be T20I encounters, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah, T20I.
Yeah, T20I encounters.
How big is that record?
How
massive is it? A massive defeat.
Oh, massive feat indeed. Rohit loves scoring against the Sri Lankans. And yes, we were just waiting for you actually.
Because I'm grilling him. He needed
not
someone.
because of that. Not because of that. The Hardik Pandya thing.
Tell us how big is what record did Dasun Shanaka make today?
Something to do with the runs against India, I believe. Not too sure.
0 marks to the team. Most runs in India Sri Lanka T20Is. You guys were discussing that.
Very close, no? Again, but not preoccupied.
Beating a record with.
Yeah, you talk about it.
Come on.
Rohit's record.
Mention this.
Rohit's record he broke.
Yes, he broke Rohit's record.
I should have got them coffees, both of them. How massive is the record?
Look.
How massive is the record beating that Rohit?
He's done it in quicker time, that's one.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
and that tells a story. That tells you about his form, how well he's enjoyed playing against India, and he's done it in India, like in the sense that he scored so many of these runs in India as well. And it goes back to actually Asia Cup. That's when we actually saw Dasun Shanaka and his true colours.
No. I think he came to India before that.
Yeah, Dharamshala, that's 70 odd.
The attack that he took over there as well.
No, I think India before that. They came to India
Last
that's
year,
why.
are we
Yeah.
talking? Okay.
He showed us glimpses. Never, and that was before the IPL auction or something. Nobody picked
No one
him.
picked him even then.
Again, Asia Cup followed by now in this series. Just before this, you had the auction. Again, no one has picked him. So clearly, there is abundance of talent in the global cricketing world for IPL teams to be ignoring someone like Dasun Shanaka. I think he's been the standout Sri Lankan player.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clear cut. So much so that we've started liking him.
Yeah, guys.
There's nothing to not like about him.
I mean, even though we want India to win, I want Dasun Shanaka to do it.
Well, yeah.
You were rooting for him all along.
Yeah, good guy. Yeah, like, look at the temperament and then look at his attitude. See, what did I say? That game, India. Why we were discussing that. Why have I enjoyed India in this series? That low scoring game, they said no problem, we'll fight. They fought, won. The other game, massive total to chase, lost early wickets, no problem, we'll fight, and came so close. And today Sri Lanka had the chance to show that same, but did they have the stomach for the fight? No, they did not. They could not do it. And the only one who showed that, Dasun Shanaka.
Yeah.
What did he do? Came, wickets going, no problem. Yuzi Chahal dancing on the wicket.
Still played the same way.
Six. That's what I'm saying. So you need multiple players, and that's what was happening with this Indian team now. That yes, there is a Suryakumar Yadav head and shoulders above everyone else, and I said it in our mid innings, and I'll say it again. What Bradman was to Test cricket, what Viv Richards was to ODI cricket. For me, Suryakumar Yadav is in T20I because he's so far ahead of everyone else at the moment. So, but there is not one Suryakumar. You had a Rahul Tripathi do that today. Okay, you had Akshar Patel doing it whenever he can. You have, again, as I said, Hardik's not been in form, but he can do it, as you saw in that T20 World Cup in that semi-final against England. He's the one who. So I am saying there are multiple players that will play like a Dasun Shanaka. Who, no matter what the situation, you lost a lot of it, they'll go for it. And so that's the difference between an Indian team, and I think that is what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to achieve by creating. See, earlier also what the issue in T20 was, a lot of them played percentage cricket and one or two were mavericks. What you need to change is, you can have one at best playing percentage cricket, or two, but rest of them have to be mavericks. I think even two is more. Maybe one playing percentage cricket on for that rainy day when seaming around, tough to bat, gritty guy, takes you over the line. Rest have to play the other way.
Absolutely. I think in today's day and age, even if you look at most teams, say we keep talking about England being the template setters, their two so-called anchors are David Malan and Ben Stokes, guys who can turn on the fireworks if need be. So it's not just about.
Stokes is hardly an anchor.
Yeah, but in T20 eyes, he's probably not lit the world on fire as much as he has.
Turn it around, yeah.
But he has that ability, and that's what makes him scary.
Give that push. I think that's what we're trying to say here. Yes, he will not, let's say, take on the opposition the way a Suryakumar Yadav can and light the entire stadium.
No, he does it in Test cricket.
In Test cricket, of course, yes, he can. And he's done it a couple of times now. But having said that. Suryakumar, I want to talk about Suryakumar Yadav because...
Okay, you've both gathered your thoughts and you have words now, because both said when I asked them, put it into words. We have no words.
No, I want to talk about Suryakumar Yadav.
So put it into words. Put his innings into words.
The epitome of what modern era T20 cricketer should be like. Because he brings something, he's multi-dimensional as a batter, which is not something that you see in peak Virat Kohli also, by the way. And why I say the epitome of modern T20 cricket is because this guy is told that, okay, with the bat, yes, you can do so much, but around the crease as well, you can do just so much more. And it's his play around the crease, which I really admire. Yes, of course, he can hit the ball long down the ground in other parts of the ground, but how many can hit it over fine leg or go extremely far? It was about 5 ram shots. I think Shane.
I was going to ask you guys. I asked for that data. Is he the? 100 aside, is he the first batsman to get a 50 with just ram shot? Did he reach a 50 with just ram shots?
Could well be.
If not 50, at least close.
At least close
At
enough.
least close, yeah.
Imagine getting 50 in all sorts of range of shots is so tough. Could have just got it with a ram shot, which is again a rare shot.
Yeah. And you're taught as batters or conventional batters, and we've seen it with the best of batters, with let's say Virat Kohli. Conventional batters like playing in that V.
Yeah.
Sunny Gavaskar says that you've seen it with so many. Just play in the V. You're always told play in the V.
But that was different cricket.
Exactly. But this guy, when you look at his wagon wheel, it will not be, if you were to draw a pie or just put percentage marks on the amount of runs that he scored around
Evenly
the park,
spread.
it is evenly spread out. Yes, a little dominant on that on that fine leg side because he plays that ram shot so often. But that also is calculated risk. Remember, it didn't come off well in the second T20, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
But having said that, look at the rewards and look how evenly. Again, every batsman has his strengths, and that is one of the tougher shots to play.
I'll take it. If I'm the captain, I'm saying I don't mind you getting out like
absolutely.
that. But that's why you need the support of everyone else. But I think now anyway, where Surya is, had he been a young batsman, I would have been a bit scared for him when he gets out, because I don't know what the team is going to tell him or the coach, captain, and I would be hoping that, hey, don't scream at him for playing that shot, because the day it comes off, it'll look very good. But with Sky, he's reached that level that I don't think anyone's going to say anything to him no matter how he gets out.
Just, again, on the big screen, of course, it'll appear as if he's just, hit perfection all of a sudden or overnight. But it's behind the scenes what he's done with Mumbai over all these years.
Yeah.
Remember, he wasn't like the first choice pick until a couple of years back. He's a late bloomer. He only made his debut in 2021. So for somebody to make his debut in 2021 and to be achieving these heights, well, finishing as the highest T20 run getter, just the subsequent year after you making your debut speaks volumes. And he is Mr. T20 right now.
So, we were talking about Surya and you're talking about responsibility. Actually, it reminds me of when he started out at KKR, 1 year after they won the title, 13.
He was part of that team that won the title.
If I'm not wrong, he was part of the 14 team. But after 12, he made his debut in 13. And then back then, he wasn't this player, but there were still glimpses of this, because he would come in at number 5, 6, get you like 20, 30 quickfire runs, and even then he had this propensity for playing these ram shots, nowhere near as outrageous as he does now, but he would go down on one knee.
He was?
Yeah, he would.
Okay.
Then what happened was that he was eventually, I think Gautam Gambhir was the captain at that point, is and forever will be a big fan of Sky, and he promoted Surya up the order. He said that, look, you're someone who can get a lot of runs, you need to be batting higher than where you are right now. Unfortunately, at that point, he didn't seem ready for that role. And so what happened was, because in his mind it was, look, I'm batting at 4, I need to be getting the team a lot of runs. Maybe I need to curb my natural instincts. And that's where he started struggling. When then that struggle started, he was a not conventional batter, batting in a conventional way, not getting a lot of runs, and then unsurprisingly found himself in the auction pool. Mumbai Indians picked him up and said, look, you play your way. Play your way. You get your runs. How you get them doesn't matter. You focus on getting runs.
Also, the one thing is that, sometimes we say that, okay, this team may have helped him or that team may have helped him. It is also the time or the phase of your career where you go to which team. So sometimes it's happened like, ex-player, a bowler, batsman, was with one franchise, didn't get a lot of chances, then goes to another franchise, and you say, oh, look at how he's flourished there. So what do? We just put 2 and 2 together and say this franchise is bad, don't know how to look at talent, look at this franchise there. But probably give credit to that. Maybe he was not ready XYZ at that time to be at that level. Maybe they were, because sometimes we only see matches, but sometimes franchises they do match simulations, they do practice matches, they do various other things, and you see that it's not happening, and so then you take a call. So sometimes you're not, and you've seen it in sport, across sport, there are some people who, when they are young, are outstanding, but they come in early and then they are done. I mean, Becker was outstanding when he came in at 16, but I think by the time early 30 he was done.
Jack Wilshere?
Well, his injuries, that's a different matter.
Yeah, I'm just saying in terms of peak, even Ronaldo that way, the Brazilian Ronaldo also, but those are injuries. I'm saying certain people hit peak early, certain people take time, to really come into the groove. So again, it's the style of play, the kind. So Surya is that. And I am reminded of this time, and see, now it seems so far ago, I forget the year, because I used to be going to Mumbai at the time, and he had been made the Ranji captain, and they had a disastrous season.
I think he was removed after that.
He was removed because his own batting wasn't great, the team wasn't doing well, and Mumbai not making it to the knockouts or something like that had happened, and they're not accustomed to being in a situation like so he's removed. And at that time I thought, honestly, a lot of people, not me, and I was talking to a lot of local journalists, a lot of former players there, and they thought, no, maybe he is only good enough to be, this, maybe 1 or 2 IPL seasons, will win title, will fade away. Nobody thought that he'll reinvent himself. And I was reading a piece about Surya Kumar Yadav ahead of that first T20 in the Indian Express, and even there, it was a piece about how he's going to the ground, everyone's coming up to him, clicking his selfies, photos, and he's talking about, see how the world has changed. I mean, hinting at that, at one point I was just like anybody, and maybe one of the many thousands who have played domestic cricket, and to suddenly the superstar status, which I think right now he's reached the Virat Kohli and the Rohit Sharmas, I mean, that sort of level he's kind of reached already in a short span. So remarkable turnaround for Sky. I don't know, today I felt that at certain points it was like as if he's showing off. He's like, like
look at what I can do.
Yeah, I was like, enough, stop it. Yeah, you're good, we know that. And nonchalantly then comes to that interview after just the game, chewing his gum like I've just taken my dog out for a walk and finished it. And
that's the gait, that's the swagger of a man in form, and a man oozing with confidence, I would say. See, it reflects in the body language, and it must.
Yeah.
All top athletes have had that nonchalant and that extravagant walk. Eric Cantona, he would walk a certain way.
Cristiano
Ronaldo, peak of his powers, would walk a certain way. Yes, those players, you were in awe of those players.
Are you guys worried? Because a lot of people pointed out, and I'm taking that, are you guys worried? And some people are still pointing out that yes, he plays these outstanding innings, but all have come in bilateral series and not so very. I mean, this is an important game because the series was on the line, but I know what people are trying to say, that not like the best World Cup games. Does that diminish what he's achieved in the last 6, 8, 10 months?
Not really.
Not for me. Also, it's coincidence, or it is a sheer coincidence that it wasn't just him, by the way. It was the entire unit collapsing. Not just Surya Kumar Yadav. Yes, if you are to talk about him per se, yes, you would expect the same performances in such crunch games as well. But in games around, let's say, it's not like, India, okay, yes, you made it to the semi-final this time around. Last year, you can't put the blame on him, let's say, for what happened in 2021. Yes, 2022, you can hold him accountable to only an extent, because the other games or a bigger platform, let's say, he was performing. He was the savior, for you remember, on multiple occasions, because that top order was still not giving you runs in the 2022 World Cup.
Correct.
So he was the savior then also. So yes, it's got to do, as a unit, it was the batting that was found wanting, but even then, Surya Kumar Yadav was that silver lining, let's not forget.
True. And see, I mean, if you're looking at it this way, he was, 22 was his first proper World Cup, if I'm not wrong. 21, I don't recall him being part of the squad. He was brought into the team, if I'm not wrong, after the World Cup.
He got a couple of
No, he was there.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah.
But even then, that was his first real World Cup. 22, I would say, was still a time when, he was really starting to come into his own as a player. I would have a lot more expectations from the likes of, the Rohit Sharmas and the Virat Kohlis of the world.
Yeah.
I would have held them at higher esteem in terms of where it is that, I expect, and even if you're expecting Surya's, this maverick talent of his to shine through, it doesn't matter if the top order isn't coming through with more runs. And should be told, there was one too many times where the lower and lower middle order was left to salvage what was there or what they were left with after the top order had collapsed. So I don't think I can entirely put that on him. He would have to be superhuman to have won India that World Cup, because the top order, quite frankly, just wasn't doing anything for me.
I just want to spend some time also talking about, because in all this discussion, firstly, congratulations, your Hardik Pandya bowled 4 overs, you're happy?
I am. I would want to see that happen more often.
It may happen, but I'm saying in not every game. And he is never going to come bowling the death. So you will usually see him finish early on. But yeah, I wanted to spend some time speaking about a man that we might, forget in all this celebration and all these great performances, because his contribution on paper doesn't look massive, is Rahul Tripathi.
Yes.
And why I'll say that, firstly, by the way, on a day where Surya Kumar Yadav absolutely dominated, Rahul Tripathi still ends up as the guy with the highest strike rate. Okay.
Yes.
He got 35 runs. But I tell you why Rahul Tripathi should not be forgotten today and deserves as much praise as any other player is because remember, firstly, Rahul Tripathi waited for good 12 years to get a chance to play for the Indian team.
Yeah.
When he was also earlier selected, because he made his domestic debut in 2010 and then 12 years to reach here. So he was working towards reaching the India team. The other thing, when he got selected also, he did tours. I remember Ireland was one, where, I think was he in New Zealand also? May have been.
New Zealand may have been. I think he was there for the South Africa ODIs as well.
Yeah. Many other tours that he'd been part of where he did not get a look into the playing 11, right? So imagine, just try to think from his point of view, so many years, get into the Indian team, waiting anxiously that I'll get a chance. Doesn't get a chance. First chance he gets, he from that first ball is trying to score runs, not trying to, play percentage cricket that let me get 10, 15, 20 runs, let me get a base, and at the end if I can get 40, 50, I would have made a mark. No, he's not thinking, he's that, okay, it doesn't come off. And he gets out trying to play a shot, full ball, going for a drive. Of course the ball was at that time, as I said in that game, was seaming around. So he gets beaten, edge out. Now imagine, it's the final game of the series. He very well knows another failure here, I'm getting a game, another failure here, he may never be selected even in the squad.
Correct.
That's how small a rope these players get, especially when you know that Shreyas Iyer may be back, maybe a few other players might be back. I've got one game that I couldn't get. This probably, I'm telling you, there's no way that he was not thinking. This probably could have been his last game, and Rahul Tripathi would have very well known that. That's how, and it's not, he's not the first guy. There's so many cases in Indian cricket where this has happened. He knows this, or at least has this doubt that this could be, if he's not certain. But how does he play? Absolutely goes after the bowling at a time where your other batsman was also struggling. So it's not that, the other guy is also scoring runs, so it's an easy pitch to bat on, I'll also attack. Shubman is struggling.
Yeah.
But he says, hey, I will turn things around. No. I am going to... And Rahul Tripathi plays the way he does. What that tells me, a few things. One, this man has a big heart. Only if you have a big heart can you be doing like that, firstly, right? Secondly, this guy can be a big stage player. Players who perform at big stages can be like, they show these traits. That's the second bit. And third, and the most important thing that I picked up from Rahul Tripathi's batting today is Rahul Tripathi is a team man. If you want to win team sport games, you want to do well, you need not 1, 2, you need 11 team men. And if you need any example to see a team man, Rahul Tripathi is it. So, to Rahul Tripathi, really well done. Fantastic. I've always been a fan of his, and I'll always take you back. Again, he's always that guy who gets a bit overshadowed by other guys. Because I did a program at the time, I keep quoting that example, that 2021 IPL, the second half, which was played in the UAE, toughest conditions for anyone to bat on, right? Really tough for batting. So what happened, that second half of the IPL, if you took the top run getters, I think 8 out of 10 were dominated by top order openers. It had to be 1 or 2 mostly. I don't even know if there was a number 3. It was mostly 1 or 2 dominated. I think there was Venkatesh Iyer had a good time that time. Your Ruturaj Gaikwad, all your openers were doing very well. So what? Only 2 middle order batsmen, because at that time Rahul Tripathi was at 4 sometime.
3 and 4.
Not even 3. I think he was 4 and 5 if I'm not mistaken. That IPL. He was in the top 10 run getter for the second half of the IPL. The only 2 middle order batsmen to be there, he was one of them. Alongside, was it Hetmeyer or Maxwell, one of them. And when you looked at the strike rate, top 10 strike rates, all that list was dominated by again openers because got the new ball, you could get runs there, and as the ball was getting old, the pitches were getting sluggish, you were finding it tough. Again, there were only two middle order batsmen, and one of them was Tripathi, and I think the other was Maxwell, and Tripathi was a higher strike rate than that.
In the entire list?
No, in the two middle order
between the
batsmen out of the 10. So I'm saying at different parameters in those tough conditions to have performed the way he did, absolutely incredible. And I'm so happy that he's got his due now, even though it's come, I think, about good 12 years after he made his debut.
Oh, I remember you're talking about that 2021. That was the year when, because obviously you had a COVID interrupted season, second half had to be shifted out. I remember prior to the interruption, KKR were on a hiding to nothing.
Yeah.
They had lost 7 out of 8 games, if I'm not wrong. Dinesh Karthik had been stripped of captaincy. Owen Morgan was given the captaincy and having a torrid time with the bat. So it was like jumping from the frying pan into another frying pan, not even the fire. It was a different frying pan. And you had, I think, that middle order, as Nikhil was pointing out, the top order, you had Shubman Gill and Venkatesh Iyer. And Venkatesh Iyer, that second half of the season, was in a different zone altogether. But Rahul Tripathi, I remember in the final, he had some, I don't know, fitness problem or something. There was something, that's why he had to come in and bat lower down the order. And there was a major collapse by the KKR middle order because both your openers had gotten 50s. Venkatesh got a quick fire 50. Shubman got, by his own standards, a quick fire 50. And you were 104 for no loss, chasing about 160-70, if I recall correctly. And there was an almighty collapse. By the time Tripathi came, it was too late to salvage anything. And I still maintain that man had to be fit in that final. KKR would have had a third IPL trophy.
Okay, I'm going to take a few questions, a lot of questions coming in, so we'll try and answer all that. One point, and let's get all our thoughts quickly. People are pointing out openers still a concern for India. What needs to be done? So I'll quickly put in my 2 bits. Again, I wasn't as upbeat about Ishan Kishan as a lot of you were, simply because, you know, he had been taken to the 2021 World Cup. After that, also given a lot of chances, and I felt that some places he was really not measuring up to what you need, and a lot of inconsistency was happening. Suddenly he gets a 200. And you know, the world goes gaga and you think he should play everywhere. I still think you've got to be a bit more cautious. Just go back and seek consistency rather than chasing one maverick inning. If you need maverick innings, then it has to come more consistently than what Ishan is saying. So I'm still not convinced as Ishan is the go-to guy in white ball cricket. For Shubman Gill, I know a lot of people are talking about his strike rate, but maybe you can afford one you know, a sort of an anchor in the team. I would want him to get a bit more chance because, as I said, you could afford one. And the other thing is that, you know, you'll say go back to a scenario and KL is like this, go to Virat. I've said it umpteen number of times. I think they're trying to turn a corner and go in with a new team. So the thing is, yes, he may have the same strike rate as KL, but maybe he could be more consistent than KL. We don't know. Maybe he may not be, and then you do away with him. But I'm just saying, give him some chance. So that's my 2 bits about opener. Maybe you guys can answer the other question. A lot of people, you have something?
No, wait, I just want to add to Ishan Kishan though. Yes, of course, you're talking about a certain template in which, speaking of attributes, he fits into that template, which is why I believe he's been given that chance. Also, the 200, like you said. But with Ishan Kishan and what we saw in these 3 matches, I think shot selection is something which went wrong with him. On all 3 occasions, there were needless shots at times. So that is something that he needs to learn, and there is a Virender Sehwag. There are so many others who can help him. Having that approach of taking on the bowlers, starting you know, as an opener, but you need to be cautious when to take on, what ball to take on. You can have that mindset, but shot selection is extremely imperative.
But if you, as you say, somebody could help you sort that problem of shot selection,
that is what,
then somebody would have done it with a Rishabh Pant also. Now, problem was happening.
But you've just started to try him out. So you can. Rishabh.
No, but Ishan's got chances before that as well. He came in.
He did get the
he went to
South
West
Africa
Indies.
series,
He played
the South Africa series. I remember.
He played the T20 World Cup as well. 2021. So you have. But I'm not saying again. I'm not wanting to reject something. I'm saying we are a bit more cautious. Don't think that he's the guy. He is going to get you everything. On the subject of, there was a question on, shouldn't Sundar come in for Deepak Hooda, was the other question. Any thoughts?
I mean, it depends. If you're looking at another spin bowling all-rounder, sure. But I don't think the team would be looking for 3 spinners or 3 full-time spinners. Would be a bit much.
Also, that sort of just slims your batting a bit, I think. The batting order just looks a little slim if you go in with a Washington Sundar over a Deepak Hooda. Deepak just gives you more confidence with the bat, I feel.
Sure.
Yeah, I think if I mean, again, I really like Sundar, but if he does come in, it will be either for Yuzi Chahal or
most likely
or Akshar Patel. Yeah, whichever. I mean, you could go in with a left arm spinner and an off spinner. So what if the batting? There could be. I'm saying certain games you could go in. So Harish wants to know, will Tripathi be back when Shreyas and Sanju are back? He should be. He should be. That's what I spent ranting for like 4-5 minutes just on. But
sorry, I did I miss that
but
part?
I think he should be. Why not? If you're not going to reward him, then you won't have many players coming up and playing for the team and playing the way that he should be. May not get a 11 spot in the 11, but
could very well be a valuable squad player. I think absolutely has to be.
Yeah.
Or if you want to take an extreme option, you could put him to open.
Pratham is saying that out of the 3 openers, maybe Virat is needed to open the innings.
Again, we're going back to the same old. But that is something the other day as well we could have just touched upon. I think this was something just day before yesterday as well. Somebody had pointed out that if you're looking at an anchor role to be played by one of the batters, and if Shubman Gill is somebody you're trying out, why not Virat Kohli, who's done it in IPL and succeeded? And if you look, and that's his style of play. He likes to take his time, get his eye in, and that could be one of the ways of keeping Virat Kohli.
Maybe. It's not a bad option. It's not a bad option.
Wanting to explore
it's not a bad option if you are looking at an anchor, right? If you've gone the other way where you're saying no, we want bang bang from the word go, and maybe not. But if you're looking at anchor, maybe that's not a bad option. But also it needs to be seen what the captain is also looking at. What is the kind of team the captain is trying to build? So every captain has a vision. I think it will now be whatever said and done. I mean, it's not cast on stone, but we are getting a feelers that this is the team, this is the captain, this is what is happening. Hardik's made no bones about it, mentioning I want this, I am going to take it and all that. So if that's the case, then I guess maybe they can have a chat with Hardik and they can discuss if the selectors feel, if Hardik feels that maybe that could be a way to go, and you've tried a Shubman, you've tried a Ishan, and I still think that Virat is the guy. Maybe that's the way to go.
Also, like I think we were talking at mid innings, that could also be one of the ways where, like many of our family members were also suggesting, that perhaps going with just an inexperienced team or a young team, let's say, somewhere that experience is lost. One of the ways you can
there's so much experience, There's Hardik Pandya, so much experience, Surya Kumar Yadav, so much experience, and by the time this team goes to that World Cup, they would have been
correct. They'll have experience.
So I'm just saying, if you want to add experience, let's say on paper experience, Virat Kohli and his experience is just unquestioned, the kind of experience that he. So if you think that, okay, number 2, 3, 4, whatever, I've got 3, 4 youngsters in my team and I want it to look a little more balanced, not that, extremely young team, why can I not have Virat Kohli open the innings for me if this whole experiment, or let's say, or this whole new attempt at finding new openers doesn't quite go the way it's being envisioned as of now.
Aditya also has an important point. He said, did India discard Shikhar Dhawan pretty early as soon as that one inning by Ishan Kishan happened? And I think that's
could be
very interesting. So that innings happened in one day cricket, and you're saying Shikhar is done and dusted.
No, but Shikhar also was struggling for runs off late.
Yes, of late, but I'm saying that, with Shikhar, Shikhar is also as experienced or as big a player as a Virat and Rohit and all of them, right? With all of them, you have given them a long rope. With Shikhar, it never happened. He was always under the radar, and he's not playing all format. That also goes against him because he has no other format to show he's got runs. Just plays that one format, and the glare was always on him. You're always waiting for him to fail, and because he's aging, so let's move on from him and let's go to the next. I think they may have hurried, but what happens. I'm just trying to click on that so we
before we lose that.
What is Jack Nagdev saying, Ishan has been thrown in and out for years now. It is now affecting his confidence. He did well before World Cup but was not selected.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, before the T20 World Cup, he got dropped for no good reason. His form was decent back at that point.
Yeah.
And then when he was actually finally, and this is,
I remember there were a few series in the middle where you had reached a stage where he was struggling in terms of rotating the strike,
that's
in terms of getting spinners away, in terms of where there were slower pitches, so that you could see with him. It was happening. I know that, like, if the conditions are to his liking, he'll go bang and get you runs, but sometimes it's not. Then you need different gears at different time. That's, I think, one thing where he's been found wanting.
True.
I guess.
And in fact, you see that even with his shot selection, too often he's looking to go for a shot for the sake of going for a shot. Cross bat with a swinging ball. Yeah. You're asking for trouble at that point.
Wasn't needed.
Was not needed in the least.
Good point. That true test of this team is going to be, as Davis Cricket is saying, when they play England or Australia, then you can see their true potential. Rajan Thinji is saying, Gavaskarji on air fondly remembered Viru and Srikanth while talking about Sky as aggressive batter. Viru is in Greg Chappell's all-time Test 11. I'm not surprised. Viru's got to be there in most all-time Test 11.
All-time Test 11s, yeah.
The impact that he had in Test cricket was outstanding. And it's interesting that Sunny, as Rajan Thinji is saying, that Sunny compared Chikka, an opener who was also that
very aggressive.
Throws caution to the wind, didn't bother what the situation was, went all out attacking. And Virendra Sehwag, similar kind. Just that they were two maverick openers. This guy comes and does it even when the field is spread. They had like power play sometime, or, field not really spread. No power play when Chika was playing, but it was actually 92 he played. I think power play was there at that time. That World Cup I remember very clearly. Vaibhav is saying, why are we calling it a new era if still Pandya is not being announced permanent T20 captain yet officially? Vaibhav, we are telling you na. Take our word for it. Take our word for it.
Also because I think we've been hearing a lot of noises around the older players or looking beyond the experienced pros. Even without a change in captain, that's very much a new era.
And good point there by Shripar Nadas Gupta saying, why is everyone saying Sky doesn't score in crucial matches? He scored 70 odd versus South Africa. But the problem is when India lost. So when you lose the game, probably sometime.
But then you can say we lost that match because David Miller's catch was dropped by none other than Virat Kohli.
Yeah, but one drop also doesn't.
Of course, he was the man of the match.
Yeah.
Miller was the man of the
match. Or you can point out that the other batsman didn't step up.
Yeah, it's like overall you had a collapse, right? Batting also. So many things going on. One catch.
Lungi and Giri kind of.
It's like saying India lost to Pakistan where Arshdeep dropped that catch.
But even the Bangladesh match, I remember, we were again 2 wickets down and Surya Bhatt comes in, plays that shot down the ground. I don't remember who the bowler was, but again, the statement of intent. And again, see, if you're a batsman with confidence, it reflects. With Tripathi, just want to add, since we did touch upon Tripathi, that's not a man in confidence. He's still trying to make his mark on the big stage. Just his second match, regardless of the situation, regardless of what the scoreboard looks like. See, that's when you back yourself. And it appeared in the way he played his strokes, his strike rate on the day, the highest as far as the Indian batting is concerned, 200, in excess of 200, I believe.
Yeah.
More than that, 35 or 60, way in excess of 200.
Yeah.
So, lovely to see him, and we do hope in that New Zealand series as well, we do get to see him, because...
That's a good one by Akash. He wants to see a one-on-one between Sky and Bumrah.
Oh yeah, that'll be really fun to watch.
Thank you for your kind comments after that, Akash. But but I think in this form...
Surya will take it?
Oh!
Huh? But Bumrah with those Yorkers.
Yeah, but Bumrah...
Prime Bumrah against this Surya Kumar Yadav would have been the contest.
Bumrah has been taken for runs. I think before he got injured also.
Exactly.
See Cummins, Pat.
But prime Bumrah.
Pat Cummins and Ajat took him for runs. I thought you were comparing the two.
No. Cummins, when he smacked him for 4 sixes, then this year also, 2022, he got that quickest 50, joint quickest 50.
Yeah.
Took Bumrah to the cleaners.
Well, good. I'm going with Surya. What batting! What outstanding batting! And as I said, those ramp shots. Shane pointed out that we keep, maybe for Surya Kumar Yadav we have to find different words because we can't classify all of them as ramp shots. There has to be like, ramp shot behind,
scoop ramp shot went fine. Ramp shot
went over the keeper's head. One goes where he's diving outside the pitch practically to scoop it. There's no words.
New vocabulary.
No, if there can be a Dil scoop, why can't there be a Sky scoop?
There needs to be one.
Huh?
Sky ramp or whatever.
Sky ramp?
Sky ramp sounds like some sort of a, But yes, the sky ramp does seem like, it could be something. Could be a thing.
Okay, Hardik Pandya said this. He says, I think Sky has been surprising everyone every innings that he is batting. He's just telling us that batting is so easy. If I were bowling to him, I'd be disheartened on seeing his batting. Then, this is what we pointed out in our discussion, and I'm so glad that Hardik Pandya has said that. Maybe we should make a video out of this quickly of what Hardik has said. But he says, a special mention for Rahul Tripathi. The ball was doing something, but he showed great intent. Then Sky did his thing. You don't need to tell him anything, he knows what to do. Wow. He says, if there is any situation where he's unsure, Sky, we have our chats, but more often than not, he knows what to do.
We have our validation as well then, that our analysis and dissection is also pretty much
spot on.
By the way, breaking news.
Okay.
Do a video on this after this, on what this is what Hardik has said, quote unquote. These are the best T20 cricketers in India, and that's why they are here.
Then you have it.
There is no space for doubting in this format, and we are backing the players' property. The way we played in the series is pleasing. We didn't even play 50% of our game in the second game. So,
see, it's just not being spoken. It's just not being spoken in those many words that the nation would want to sort of hear in. But the message is out there.
No, this is as clear as it is.
What Rahul Dravid had said that, we're looking to build a new team. I think it's there. The messaging is very clear. You're not even having to read between the lines. It's on the lines.
Yep.
Another super channel will get it.
Yeah. Okay.
These are the best T20 players in India, he said. I wonder what
Arjun Dang.
a lot of players would like to say.
He says frontline bowlers should open the bowling, not Hardik. He may get away with Sri Lanka, but not other big teams. Also, Umran Malik should start early. I don't know. I would say Hardik with the new ball, I've been quietly impressed with. And it's not a new thing he's doing. I mean, to be fair, he was doing it during the IPL as well. Getting that new ball to swing,
yeah.
For Gujarat Titans. So I think this is where he's most comfortable bowling in T20s. So I think that's
or
fine.
at best in the middle overs.
Yeah.
So, but can he? Let's say, okay, in this series we saw him bowl a couple of overs with the new ball, but once a Bumrah is
Interesting.
back,
I want to know Hardik Pandya's quote unquote, these are the best T20 players in India, and that's why they are here. Hardik Pandya has said. What is it telling you, Mr. Shane Dias?
It means they are looking to build with these particular players. Okay. Give or take one or two, maybe who will come back, but even then be the likes of a Shreyas Iyer, not the big three.
So he's trying to tell you this is the team.
This is what we're looking to.
What is it telling you, Mr. Harshit?
there's only one meaning to it, and Shane's put it crystal clear in a crystal clear manner that yes, this is what we have. This is what he's actually opened his book to the entire world.
I'm putting you in the spot. Is he saying there is no place in T20 cricket for KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, or Bhuvneshwar Kumar?
He's saying it, but he's not saying it.
So
he's hinting at that. He's hinting at that.
Yeah.
He's hinting at that.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
What would you be thinking if you are Virat Kohli?
Go there
Right
and
now,
have a banger of an IPL season.
Okay.
That's it. That's what I do.
I'd do the other way around. I'd say, okay, I think I've done my bit. I'm anyway.
If you're Virat, you're
yes.
thinking like that. Okay.
Because I anyway have expressed my love for Test cricket, and I want to, let's say, just for longevity's sake, I want to go out there, extend my career, play as much as possible. It's okay if the not, you know, if I'm not no longer there in the scheme of things, ODI, they know, I know, I'm still a beast. They're looking at winning the 2024 World Cup. It didn't happen under my captaincy. It didn't happen the way we would have wanted as a unit in 2022. It's okay if they want to do it. See, Virat Kohli doesn't have anything to prove. As simple as that. So I think he won't be hard done by with this. Possibly the man who will be more hurt is Rohit Sharma. Because the onus was on him in 2022. He had to wait, remember, because of Virat Kohli. He had to wait in the wings for quite some time to get that captain's armband. Once he got it, the opportunity was there. Not only did he fail as a captain miserably because of that humiliating loss, but as a batter as well, he failed.
Yeah.
So I'll be more hurt if I was Rohit Sharma right now.
Okay, interesting. We will have a video coming up on this. Rajan Thinji sent us a super chat. He says, I got selected into Punjab government's English teacher's job and tomorrow will be getting the job letter in Mohali. By God's grace, need your blessing. Arre, all the best, Thinji. Tonu lakh badaiyan yaar. You please make us proud. Hopefully, don't learn from our English and teach better English to the guys who will be watching you.
Yeah, and let us know how the day goes tomorrow. We're going to be here very much. Let us know how your day goes, Rajan.
Send us some notes to improve our English as well.
Yeah, maybe you can keep telling us where we're going wrong with that.
Yeah.
We're all also in for learning.
Absolutely, all the time.
You're learning all the time.
We failed the little test that we were put through.
Yeah, which I had leaked the question paper to you before the exam. You know, like how those tuition teachers, sometimes you come for my tuition, this is the question. And yet it came in the paper and you guys goofed it up. Okay, please take.
Yes, one more.
Mr. Shekhar.
That's Mr. Shekhar. Yeah, it's not working all of a sudden. Yeah, got it.
Okay, when Ramiz and Vic Nick travelled, Pakistan lost the finals of the World Cup and Asia Cup. Will India never make it to the finals? A good reason, overlooked reason. So, what are you trying to tell me? That I shouldn't be travelling?
Okay, if I remember correctly, though, on one of the shows here only, Rahul had pointed out that every time Vikrant Sir's travelled, Team India has not won.
Maybe
in major tournaments.
There's another thing. Even when you guys were in Australia, there was this thing that AajTak started doing.
Oh yeah,
big after the semi-final, and at that point, Gagan sir was like, "Bas."
Yeah. See, until
is his last day at work?
He's like, done. Got the match.
Seems to be in exit mode.
Yeah.
As if.
Prepare for your exit interview. Once you get a mail, get ready.
So obviously it's not their fault. We didn't play well.
Nice cover up.
We didn't play well. We did. That's why we lost.
Nice cover up.
Come on.
Nice cover up. Okay, good night, Shekhar. We'll try to.
But not travel to the World Cup. That's not happening. Come on.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you so much for your company. It was a great game, great series. Stay tuned to Sports Today for more such videos. For the moment, from the entire team, give us a like if you like the video and subscribe. Bye bye. See you. Shane, make a dash quickly. And
a dash.
Vanakkam.
That way or this way?
Yeah, we're good. Done. Ended.